building company. How you doing? Hope all is well. We are now at the point where we can put some paint on our beautiful creation, okay? So we are now transitioning to work order number 4. This is the last one in the series. Number 4 is gonna include painting, putting on our wood trim, and then trimming out or finishing all of our electrical components and firing up the wall so that everything works, okay? So we're gonna start today with the painting process. This is step number 1. And in step number 1, we have to select the paint, we have to prepare it, put it on the wall, and then we're actually going to apply it. So today, I've picked 2 different colors. We need one for the wall surface and the ceiling, and we need a second color for the wood trim that's gonna be going onto our wall as well, all right? Our wood trim is gonna be made out of this super cool stuff right here, which is 3.5 inches by 3/4 inches, and it is an MDF board that has already been primed and painted white, so it is super great for us to do our trim work and put our final color on. So I selected out of our paint selection this cool little color right here. That's gonna be for the walls, and then to correspond with that and give us a little contrast, we're gonna come back and put this green color on our wood trim, okay? So that is the game plan. Here we go with the process of actually getting paint on our wall. So first step, we're gonna do what's called cut in. We're gonna be using a small 2-inch trim brush, and this is called a sash brush. You see how it's kind of cut at an angle versus being straight across. This makes it really nice when we're handling the paintbrush. We have great control. We can get into tight corners. We can control the paint and put it right where we want it. So that's what we're gonna do with our cut in. So when we're talking cut in, anywhere I cannot get to the wall with this cool little 3-inch roller, I need to put the paint on first. So cut in comes first. So all right, let's get a little close up here of the paint and cut in process here. You can see I've already started there on the left-hand side, but we're gonna take our brush, and our idea here is that we need to be able to put paint and a pretty heavy coat on this inside corner. So we're gonna work it in small sections, no more than about 6 inches at a time. We're gonna dab the paint in. You can see me using the paintbrush there to just deliver the paint onto the texture and then back brush it, as we call it, which is to smooth out the paint once it's been delivered to the surface. All right. The reason we do this is to enable us to get the paint down and into all of the little nooks and crannies of our texture, and then brush it back so it looks nice and smooth and continuous all the way across the surface that we're painting. All right. So you can see how I'm using the angle of the paintbrush. That's why it's called a sash brush. It allows us to find the comfortable angle and the proper way to get the paint delivered to the surface. Texture is always going to be the challenge, and so you're watching your coverage, in other words, how much paint you're putting on, and making sure you don't see any of the undercolor, which in this case is the white color of the texture, right, the joint compound that we used. So we're going to make sure we get that first line, which is going across on the wall surface, and then we're going to reverse, in other words, invert our brush, and we're going to start the cut in on the ceiling. All right, so same thing. We're going to dab it into that area, and then we're going to back brush it and smooth it out. All right, so that technique, working in small sections, that is the professional way we want to do this to make sure that our cut in has enough paint and coating that we don't have to come back and do our second coat if possible, because if we deliver enough paint and get a nice coverage on our first coat, we can leave that to dry and then just come back and look at it and do just basic touch up instead of having to do a full second coat as we cross through that process. Feather it back in, nice light touch. Again, we don't want to put a heavy tension on the brush. That will remove the coating and just spread it out. What we want to do is get a nice even heavy coat and just feather it back nice and easy so that it has great coverage, and when it dries back, we're ready to go for our rolling process. So you can see how we're using the technique with the brush, right? We're going to turn it over so you can kind of see we're getting into a corner where I cannot reach in if I have the brush angled in the incorrect area. We'll be running into obstacles. Maybe that's the wall and corner area. But in our case, if you turn it 180 so that the angled brush, the long end, is in the corner, you can just reach right in and comfortably finish up that cut in all the way to the next wall section. So we're going to dap that in, brush it back. Now we got ourselves a complete cut in from right to left. Everything is feathered back, ready to move on to the next step, which is using our roller to then paint the wall and the ceiling section, and we're in good shape. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the roller technique we're going to use. All right, so we're using a 4-inch roller and our trim bucket, and you can see we're going to be doing W patterns. Okay, so watch the trace on it. Then I reverse back and finish up at the top of the W. All right, so this is a technique allowing us to put the paint on the surface and to gather enough paint so that it flows all the way down and into our texture. Then what we do is a little back brushing technique. You saw that right there. That allows them to get a full coat, and we're going to do it in sections. So let's speed this up and see what happens.
Hey, all right, Husky Building Company, welcome back. We have let this dry overnight. Paint up here can dry and be recoated within an hour or so because we have such a dry climate, but I wanted to make sure we were totally dry, come back the next day, and the last process here is to check and make sure that we have a good coat of paint and we don't see any of our undercoat, either the white or the gray, showing through. We have a term for this, it's called a holiday. Okay, so if I'm working with a roller and I miss some spots, difficult to see when it's wet when you're applying, but once it's dry, you have to carefully inspect everything. And if you see some white coming through in our case, that's a holiday, and we got to take our paintbrush and our wall color and do a little touch up and make sure that that's covered. So initially you look at this, let's just scan across this real quick. So if you're looking at the wall, it looks pretty dang good, all right? Do you see any holidays yet? All right, let's cut away into like a really nice close, tight shot. Oh, wait a minute. As I look closer, up here in the top right corner, we see just a few little white specks coming in. And then if I scan across here to the left, I see one more. But as I look through the rest of the wall, everything else looks good. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take just my little trim and sash brush here. I'm gonna dip it into our color. And we are just going to lightly touch up those spots, and super important that we feather out the edges. So we're just not gonna glob paint on there. We're gonna get some paint on it, and then we're gonna lightly brush out the edges so that it feathers back into the rest of the wall color, and we don't look like we just globbed a bunch of paint on when it dries. Okay, so you're always thinking about how is this gonna look when it dries, because when it's wet, you can really see the issue. But what we want to do is feather out those edges in all directions so that when that dries back, it blends right back into our final paint color and everything looks good. All right, taking care of the holidays, 1 and 2, go clean the paintbrush, all is well. Our next segment, we're going to be coming into our wood trim. And so we're going to talk about how we're going to trim out this window and the baseboard along the bottom of our flooring. And so we'll get into that on the next segment of teaching. All right, you guys, have a terrific one. Keep building something great. We'll see you soon.